When it comes to sterilization and contamination control, assumptions can be dangerous. In highly regulated environments like pharmaceutical manufacturing and laboratory research, even small misunderstandings can lead to compliance issues, failed validation, or contamination risk. So let's break down 3 of the most common misconceptions and the science behind them. Misconception number 1: mold spores are the standard for sterilization. This is one of the most common myths in the industry. Because mold contamination is so visible and persistent, many assume fungal spores are the benchmark for sterilization, but that's not the case. Bacterial spores, not fungal spores, are the gold standard for sterilization validation. And there's a reason why. Bacterial endospores are significantly more resistant. They're built like microscopic fortresses, with multiple protective layers shielding their DNA from harsh conditions. Fungal spores, while troublesome, are actually easier to eliminate. That's why regulatory agencies like the EPA and FDA require bacterial spores for validation testing. The logic is simple. If you can destroy bacterial spores, you can destroy less resistant organisms, including mold. This principle is rooted in the Spalding classification system, which has guided sterilization practices for decades. Misconception number 2: a 3-log reduction is enough. This one can create serious risk. A 3-log reduction means eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. That sounds effective, but in sterilization, it's not nearly enough. True sterilization requires at least a 6-log reduction, 99.9999%. Here's why. If you start with 1 million microorganisms, a 3-log reduction still leaves 1,000 survivors. A 6-log reduction reduces that number to 1 or fewer. In critical environments, that difference isn't small, it's everything. That's why regulatory standards require a minimum 6-log reduction for bacterial spores, and sometimes even higher levels depending on the application. Misconception number 3: all hydrogen peroxide solutions work the same. Not all hydrogen peroxide systems are created equal. It's easy to assume that if 2 solutions look similar, they perform the same. But when it comes to sporicidal efficacy, that's not true. Effectiveness depends on several factors: the formulation of the solution, the delivery method, whether it's vapor, fog, spray, or pulse systems, contact time, and environmental conditions, and the presence of additives like stabilizers or heavy metals. Some facilities discover this the hard way, switching solutions without proper validation, only to see failed biological indicators and incomplete sterilization. That's why it's critical to use EPA-registered systems with documented sporicidal efficacy, and to validate your specific process, not rely on assumptions. Sterilization validation isn't about shortcuts, it's about certainty. Understanding the difference between organisms, log reduction standards, and system performance is what ensures your contamination control strategy actually works.